in reading manga, I absolutely love how I just try to figure out what voice actresses would fit perfectly towards the character, right? Because the characters in this manga, and of course other mangas, they can deliver some pretty good lines, and especially to this one, the amount of hilarious dialogues and monologues and exchanges of conversation that they have, I'm really interested as to how this can be done, if it were ever to get an anime adaptation, right? As to how these conversations would feel like in real life. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna be taking a look at the characters from the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You, and try to, figure out as to what their voice, or who their voice actor or actress would be if they ever get an anime adaptation, which I hope so. And yeah, we'll look at the presentation for my findings. And just a quick note, this is all my opinion, right? This is all my opinion. And yeah, welcome to Puppet. So first off, we have our main protagonist, Aijo Rentaro. Now, for this particular character, I had two initial findings, right? Or two initial voice actors who would fit this role, and of course, we'll see why, right? So the first person that I picked is Nobunaga Shimazaki, who is known to voice Shido and Kaido Shun, right? From Psychic, Shido from Data Live. Now, for that, my reasoning is because, I always pictured, or I would see Rentaro as this really cool, calm, collected type of character, and Nobunaga Shimazaki is really known for his characters who have a really cool vibe to them, right? Shido has this really, this whole harem Chad thing to him, a really good characteristic trait that I also find in Rentaro, right? The whole kindness and whole coolness to him, but also the comedic times where he would defend his girlfriends, he would also retort and stuff like that. I find that comedy also the same way, or at the same level rather, as Shun's character trait, right? But another reason, right, or another person rather, candidate is Natsuki Hanae, right? And the haremness, right, the haremness of Masamune, the kind heart of Tanjiro from Kimetsu no Yaiba, Masamune from Masamune-kun's no Revenge, and Aldini Takumini from Food Wars, right? Their whole character, right? I really like to capture as well how Rentaro would interact with his girlfriends, right? Imagining his dialogues, I would think of him to be this really kind character, just that of your average high school boy, right? And Masamune's, whole chadness to him, I guess you could call him, I don't know really, but just his cool vibe, rather, let's say, right? His cool narcissistic vibe. Not that Rentaro is a narcissist, right? But yeah, that coolness to him makes it to Rentaro, and Takumi's flawless perfection is thingy. I really think it's a good fit because Rentaro shifts from being this really nice person, right? Really nice person who also delivers really emotional, motivational lines, dialogues, monologues, and also a really badass or hardcore manner of speech, and especially when he tries to defend his girlfriends. And I would really see that in Natsuki Hanae's performances in his role. So for that reason, Rentaro, yeah, I would place him as that. Right, next we have Hakari. How can I try to bring out her etchiness vibe to it, right? How can I do that, right? So I've chosen Sora Amamiya, who has the same voice role as Akemi Soryuin from How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift, and Aqua from Konosuba, and of course Chizuru from Rental Kanojo. But yeah, you would think, right? You would think that, or at least this is my opinion, right? I would want to picture a voice actress who would deliver a somewhat dignified yet etchy role. And this is also the same problem that I had when choosing Hahari's voice actress who would voice her. But yeah, when I watched How Heavy the Dumbbells You Lift, Akemi's performance, or rather Sora Amamiya's performance, when delivering Akemi's lines in the amount of etchiness, the etchy moments that she has, it's just perfect. It's just perfect in the way she delivers that, and I absolutely see that in Hakari. You know, mixing the same comedic formula with that Aqua has, and there you go. You have Hakari's voice. But next, we have the Tsundere Karene, right? For Karene, I've chosen Inori Minase, who has the same voice actress or role rather as Hestia from Danmachi, right? She also voices who's the name? Rem, right? Rem. But it's really Hestia who I really thought, or who really grabbed my attention as to who Karene, or what Karene's voice would look like, would turn out to be, right? I would think of many other tsundere type of characters, lead roles, but Hestia's whole vibe to it, for me, it just really matches that of Karene. There's that amount of love, subtleness, and of course the amount of insane retorting towards her in the story, right? Towards her own companions, and with Hestia bringing all that up to light, and the amount of personality that she brings out, I think it's a really good fit. Now for Nano, the deadpan-ish type, kudere type of girlfriend, Mizuso Togashi, who also voiced Origami from Data Live. The moment I've watched Origami's performance, Mizuso's performance playing Origami, I really thought it was done well. That whole kudere, smart but also intelligent type from Origami, I also see that in Nano. So yeah, simply for that reason. Shizuka, the lolly type of character, right? Shy lolly type, doesn't really talk much, right? I imagine that her, since most of her text or dialogues really just be led or live up to her text to speech app that Rentaro made for her, for the Chad, nothing can ever beat Iori Nomizo, who has the same voice role as Yoshino from Data Live. You can search Iori Nomizo's roles in a lot of other animes. They seem to be really energetic, really mature, and totally unexpected when compared with that of Yoshino when she did Yoshino's character. It's insane how she brings out this amount of cuteness and shyness, right? And yeah, Shizuka is also shy, and Yoshino as well. So both of their characteristics, their personalities, I really find it to be a really good match. Iori Nomizo is a really good voice for Shizuka, right? I also had trouble when deciding for Kusuri. Did I say that before? Anyway, for Kusuri, she has two forms, right? She has the child form and the adult form, or the senior form rather. This is called not senior, the bigger form, right? Small and bigger form. Now, I would think in my mind that she would initially think that she would play, or you would have two separate voice actors to play each form of Kusuri, but I think I found one character who can do both at the same time, and that is Rie Takashi, the same voice as Megumin from Konosuba and Goto Hime from Kakushigoto. Now, there's a reason why I added Hime this, and I'll explain it right now. So first off, in Kusuri's whole conversation, there's always that moment where she blurts out at the end of the sentence, "Yep, yep," or something like that. Then I've tried to match rather a lot of the other voice of characters rather, and I found that it just works. I guess for Megumin, when Megumin says Chumusuke, I can see that happening to Rie Takahashi, trying to voice Kusuri and her dialogues and her conversations. Yeah, even towards her voicing what's it again? Emilia, if I remember, Emilia from ReZero. Her adult form, it works. But yeah, from Goto Hime, right? Goto Hime's, her whole calm and serene vibe to it. You mix that together with Megumin's bubbliness to it, then you have Kusuri. Her saying yep yep and me picturing Megumin for that, it just works. Next, Hahare. As I've said, I had a hard time, but I just went for Saori Hayame, who has the same voice roles as Jabami Yumiko from Kakegurui, Compulsive Gambler, yeah, and Azazel Amiele from Demon School Iruma-kun, or what is that? Iruma-kun, yeah. And for that reason, right, she has two personalities, two completely different vibes, I guess, towards making a conversation. One is her dignified version, which I find it in Yumiko to be really amazing, and the other is the whole etchiness to it, the whole lewdness that she delivers. I see that in Amiel-san, right? And yeah, although she is seen as a dignified woman, Amiel is also seen as a dignified character in the Iruma-kun series. If you would switch up the text, the conversation, the words rather, the sentences, the whole paragraphs itself, to that of Hahari's own manner of speech, I would definitely see that, a mix of both dignified or perfection rather and etchiness. And you have Hahari and Saori Hayumi. I really believe that she can do a good job in bringing out Hahari's characteristics as a whole. Next, Kurumi. Though a middle schooler, her personality, she also has two of them. But I found a really good fit, right? And it's Ami Koshimizu. Now, Ami Koshimizu, who voiced Matoi Riko from Kill la Kill. Ami Koshimizu, in my opinion, right, is the very definition of badass voice acting. She is the very definition as to what I would define rather as the perfect delinquent type of character voice, right? And it's just really my opinion, but I really believe that Kill la Kill, Ryuko's character, played a huge influence in me in defining what delinquent type of voice acting is. Oh, no, not delinquent, but rather badass voice acting. And in Kurumi's side, right, her whole grumpy side is really that of this whole, really just delinquent-ish vibe to it, hence Ryuko. But you also have this character from Anilog, Moyako, the whole cast aside the etchiness and just bring in the whole calmness and serene, sweet vibe to it. Then you have Kurumi in her sweet form eating, when she's eating. And yeah, for that reason, Ami Koshimizu will do a good role for Kurumi. But this is as for now. If there was a girlfriend, if the manga series introduced a girlfriend who is a delinquent type of character, then Ami Koshimizu would definitely be a good fit for her. Of course, unless, of course, there is a few exceptions to the whole characteristics of that. But yeah, in terms of the type at least, I would really think that, Ami Koshimizu really best suits a lot of badass characters. And Kurumi, also one. For Mei, when I think of maids, of course I think of Rem, but there is one voice actress that I found to be a really good fit for a maid, and that is Yui Horie, because of her role as Belfast in Azure Lane and Siesta from Familiar of Zero. But it's really because of Belfast. It's really because of Belfast's in the Azure Lane series, how she delivered a character fitting for a maid. And I just got so hooked into it that whenever I think of Mei, I always think of Belfast, right? And vice versa, I guess. But yeah, her whole puppy vibe, her whole dedicated vibe, I could definitely see that in Belfast. And Yui Horie can do a good job in voicing Mei. Okay, Iko, the tomboyish type, right? So, right, at first I was considering having Ami Koshimizu voice her, but I had second thoughts, and my reason for that actually was how she has this masochistic side to her, the whole comedic side to her, and Risa Taneda fits it. And she is voiced, right, by Mizuno Ai, same voice role rather, as she voices Mizuno Ai and Nakari Erina. Now, hear me out. Mizuno Ai from Zombieland Saga, really dignified, I keep saying dignified, or really fastidious, or really serious type of person. The same with Erina. They're both serious, they're both really into their passion, into their craft, right? But how can I see them, Risa Taneda's voice in Iko? It's because of Iko's whole characteristic of trying to be this fitting character for Rentaro. The time when she went to a date with him, trying to be girly, I just see it as it is. And if you would imagine, right, if you'd imagine her delivering her masochistic-ish or masochistic related dialogues towards having the same voice as I and Erina, I guess it fits, you know. You could I'm not so sure though, but it just, for me, just works. Me, the perfectionist, right? What came to mind first? That rich girls laugh. For me, I chose Ai Kayano, who has the same voice role as Utaha from How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend. Utaha because I really appreciate or really enjoyed and really got hooked by her Onesan vibe, right? And of course, Kokomi from Psychic, who is literally the definition of perfect. You mix in Kokomi's narcissistic vibe and Utaha's Onesan character trait, merge it together, you have Mimi. But really, it's just Utaha who really had the most impression to me, I guess. Next, Meme. Shy girl type, but also the Onesan. So how can we I need to find an Onesan type who is also good at delivering shy lines. Reina Ueda, in my opinion, is a good fitting because of Miyako from Wataten, right? Miyako, right, is also a shy character, but also a Onesan type. She is shy to go in crowds, and her whole vibe as it is just really, it just really hooked me on to, right, this has to be Meme. This really is similar to Meme. And as well, having a really, you know, a really same, I guess, same way of speech towards or as Rudy from Dr. Stone, that whole leader-ish and tall beauty type of person, I see that in Meme as well. Next, Chio, the serious type of the group, and Kana Asumi would be a great role for that. Her same role in Nyoroko from Nyoroko-san, Hayuri on Nyoroko-san, and Yoshiwara Aina. Now, the reason why I chose her as the voice of Chio, right? I initially thought that I needed to find a voice actress who can deliver lines that are fitting for the quote-unquote straight man of the story. In this case, Chio, who's always searching or yearning for order, right? For perfection, I guess, or not really, just for order. And I really like the vibe that Nyoroko has, the vibe in her tone. Put it towards Chio, but replace the personality with that of Aina, who is also like playing the straight man in Grand Blue. And yeah, there you have Chio. Next, we have Nadeshiko Sensei, the pure Japanese who dresses up like an American. I would imagine Kana Hanazawa as the role for Nadeshiko because of her role as Ichika, and Mayumi from regular Magic High School, and Ichika from Quintessential Quintuplets. Now, when I first think of Nadeshiko as a teacher, she has to have a really strong vibe, a proud vibe, a responsible, mature vibe, yet also mixed with a sense of that whole idealism for freedom. And that's exactly what I also see, or picture at least, when I come to know Ichika from the 2 seasons of Quintessential Quintuplets, and Mayumi's whole characteristic and vibe in the regular Magic High School, a mix of dignity and a bit of cuteness here and there as well. Okay, next, the latest girlfriend, the last but not least, the latest girlfriend, Yamame, the Disney princess. And the moment that I saw her, I come to understand, right, her personality. Akari Kageyama is her voice, and she's similar to that of Ebina from Himoto Omaro-chan. There's really nothing for me to say other than the fact that when I see these two, it just clicked. It's just like the rest, but yeah, her whole country vibe, accent, manner of speech, manner of pronunciating words and holding conversations like that, I really think that Ebina would be a good fit as well towards delivering Yamame's lines as well. Rather, Akari Kageyama's role as, Yamame. At the same time, she does portray a lot of cute moments, and I really hope that it will be seen towards Yamame's character as well. So that's it. So these are all my opinions as to which voice actor or voice actress would be a good fit for the characters in Hyakkano, or the 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you. And once again, it's just all my opinions, and I really hope that they do make an anime adaptation out of this. I just hope that it does justice, to the series.